That movie sucked.
I kind of liked it.
Movie Night Crew Network.
Hello, beloved listeners. You may have noticed that this isn't our regularly scheduled movie comparison episode. After the really heavy ending of The Prisoner of Azkaban, we all figured that you needed a little levity, maybe some joking to kind of get over the traumatic ending where Goddaddy, Dog Daddy just flies into the sky. Oh, so dramatic. Anyway, so here we are. This week we are unlocking a very special Patreon bonus episode on the main feed. This is a rousing game of the classic soup salad sandwich. If you don't know what that is, it will become really apparent to you very shortly. Before we get started, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to all of our patrons over on Patreon. If you enjoyed this episode, it's because of them that it exists. Our patrons keep us going. They make it possible for us to keep doing this podcast, and we are so, so grateful. So I hope you enjoy Soup Salad Sandwich. Welcome to the restricted section, super sexy bonus episode.
Yay!
Sexy.
I'm here today with Andrew, Brooke, and Mike. That's alphabetical, not order of preference. And today we are going to be playing a game that my brother Ryan introduced to me. He wrote the theme music. He and his friends invented a game called Soup Salad Sandwich. And I have in front of me the unofficial Harry Potter cookbook. Deeply unofficial. This book is unofficial and unauthorized. It is not authorized, approved, licensed, or endorsed by J.K. Rowling, her publishers, or Warner Brothers Entertainment Incorporated.
So we're not giving money to that bitch.
We are not giving money to that bitch. I do already own this book through no fault of my own. It was gifted to me. The interior inscription says, "Happy 26th birthday, Christina. I want to come over for some Treckle Pudding? ? I love you, my beautiful, amazing girl. Love, Mom."
Oh, that's pleasant.
I will not be making her Treckle Pudding. So the premise of this game, Soup Salad Sandwich, is that I'm going to read out the name of a recipe from this book, like a food that has appeared in Harry Potter. And each page has just a little bit of lore in case we want to investigate that or look into any. I have like the ingredients list in case we need to defend ourselves. But the goal of this game is to decide whether any given food item is a soup, a salad, or a sandwich. There are no alternatives. Before we started recording, Andrew asked if we could add schmear to that category. The answer is no.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be a soup, salad, or sandwich. So, are y'all ready to get started?
Indeed.
Yes.
Okay. Let's start. I have a series of tabs because some of these are silly. There's a lot of like crumpet type situations. Let's start with a mince pie. Does everyone know what a mince pie is?
Sandwich. Hard sandwich.
Yeah. Sandwich for sure.
Pastry on top and pastry on bottom with meat in the middle and potentially cheese if it's mince and cheese.
It's like a reverse open face sandwich.
Okay, wait, let me read this little doodly. Mince pies are very Christmassy, and sure enough, Mrs. Weasley sends Harry some for Christmas along with other goodies.
Oh, we talking Christmas mince? We talking like the fruit pie version?
This one does not include meat. It is fruit. I would also like to read this. If you eat a mince pie every day of the 12 days of Christmas, preferably in a different house each time, you will have a happy year, according to an old Yorkshire superstition.
I got like unreasonably upset at the pie shop in Richmond last year because they ran out of Christmas mince.
Aww.
To run out is strong. They listed that they would be selling it starting on a certain day. I was super excited to go get it. And when I got there, they said that they were only selling it by pre-order. And I was like, that's not what it said on your Facebook. And the lady just looked at me like, okay?
She's like, I don't run the Facebook.
Fuck you, we don't forget. We remember.
No, we mostly forget. I'm going to order some from them this year. I love Christmas mints.
Brooke is like, lesson learned.
Can we just talk about like having to go around to 12 different houses? Like, I don't know if I know that many people in the general area, so you're just like knocking on some door and you're like, hey, I just need to stand inside your doorway for 5 minutes. And it's fine. Are you cool with this? And someone's like, 12 days of Christmas, and you're like, yep.
Yeah.
It reminds me of when I was a kid, my parents were rich. Before I was a kid, they were poor, and after I was a kid, they were poor. But when I was a kid, they were rich, and they used to go to, I think they were called progressive dinners, where like you go to a different couple's house for each, what's it called? Each course. Yeah.
They're called a headache with very little payoff.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Especially because I lived in a neighborhood where you absolutely cannot walk from house to house. That's a driving situation.
Yeah, for the most part, that's a strong suburban vibe. It's like you and the 4 houses immediately adjacent to yours.
I'm sorry, if you just would have stopped there with my parents had progressive dinners, I would have been like, oh, sweetheart, no. Because that just sounds like a code word that parents like would use.
Oh, progressive dinners.
Yeah, they're
like put your key in the fishbowl. Progressive.
Yeah, they're like, Mommy and Daddy are going down to Key West for a progressive dinner.
You know, your progressive aunt, we're going to her progressive dinner to meet some of her progressive friends.
Stop talking about my birthday plans.
Okay, the next one we're going to do is a cup of tea.
Soup. Leaf soup.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to try and defend it as a salad in some way with an extra amount of dressing, but when you drown it in that much dressing, it's a soup. It's gotta be a soup.
You don't eat the leaves.
Yeah, you don't eat the vegetable part of it.
I'm going to say sandwich.
One sandwich, Michael. You must defend your answer.
You see, the cup.
I wish you guys could see the stupid face he's making.
The cup is edible because we're in Willy Wonka land, apparently. And therefore, sandwich.
Bro, we're talking about wizards. So, one.
Wizards and Willy Wonka are two very different of
it's a different class
of magic.
They both have slavery, though.
Both have slavery. Great point, Andrew.
We just literally watched Chamber of Secrets last night, and there were floating muffins that, like, could knock you out. So, if it's an edible cup, I believe it. Okay?
That was a trick, though. That was a straight-up trick.
It was tomfoolery.
Okay, just a little... I agree that it's soup. So, it's not even called tea in this... Why would you put a recipe for tea in a cookbook? I don't know. It's called a proper cuppa. And it says, tea appears many times in the Harry Potter books, a testament to its importance in British life. A very significant tea is Harry's first one with Hagrid, the first of many and the beginning of a strong friendship.
I'm wondering, I'm sure somewhere along the line, there's like a 16-year-old girl living in the middle of like Oklahoma who is literally like, I finally got my parents to take me to the grocery store to buy tea. How do I do it?
Aw.
Yeah.
Well,
there should just be in the book where you look up how to do tea, it should just say seaside of box. Like,
oh, yeah. This is
prepare as directed by tea.
This is aggressively reminding me of when I was at a friend's house the other day, and for some reason we were all telling our first period stories, and it's like a tampon seems so intuitive unless you're 12. And then it's like, what
Honestly,
am I supposed to do with this?
I like stuck just the tip in and then like pushed the plunger and was deeply confused as to I was like, it's most of the way out, but I guess this is fine.
Like, and she's the man when it's hanging out of her nose.
Yes.
You're like, this is my only reference.
In my defense, I still haven't figured them out yet, so I'm still working on it. It'll get there eventually. Also, can we create a nonprofit for girls in Oklahoma to help them with their tea problems? Because
the world has so many troubles.
Dude, when Brooke brought that up, I was sad. I was like, are there little girls in Oklahoma who can't make tea? Do we need to help them?
We've been to Oklahoma City.
Is this happening in Nebraska as well?
I think it's more likely to happen in Nebraska than Oklahoma.
If you are listening and you are in Oklahoma or Nebraska, message us on restricted section, either Twitter or Instagram. Let us know. Is there tea in Oklahoma?
I have family in Oklahoma, but they certainly do not listen to this podcast.
I'm pretty sure they have tea on a lot of farms, though. Because, like, if you go back far enough, you get, especially on farms, you get some of those, like, where it goes full circle, where they are very anti, like, they're not like what you would think of as woo people, but they do a lot of holistic medicine and stuff. It's just not doctored up. It's like,
oh yeah, it's like that. It's like that Indian shaman shit where they're just like,
well, it's not Eastern. It's just Western, like medicinal herbs and things like that.
Yeah,
like,
no. It's like Dances with Wolves shit. Yeah.
Well, kind of. Yeah, but it does exist though. I mean, I'm sure. I bet there's a lot of places that have tea now. Good quality tea or like anything that you would want to drink, maybe not. But I bet they have tea.
Brooke and I are both just like squinting, waiting.
Next thing.
The next food is fried tomatoes. The morning after a harrowing encounter with the Dementor on the Hogwarts Express, Harry restores his peace and good humor with a little help from his friends and sausages and fried tomatoes for breakfast.
Okay, so this is like full English tomatoes, not like good, proper Southern U.S. like fried green tomatoes, right?
It is a fried tomato. It doesn't have to be green, but it is breaded.
Interesting.
And it also recommends you serve it with hot buttered toast. Should we include that? No, let's not include that. Let's not include that.
Ugh.
Wait, why would you serve what?
Why would you serve
British.
buttered toast with a fried? Oh, God.
We're British.
There is a reason why the U.S. needed to break away from this country, and it's 100% related to their culinary legacy.
It had nothing to do with taxation without representation.
Let's see. Fried tomato. Salad. I feel like salad. You got tomatoes and breadcrumbs, which are kind of like croutons. And then you usually spice that in some way. You put like seasoning in that. I don't know. I'm going to say salad.
This is a British cookbook, so it only recommends pepper.
What the fuck?
Pepper and flour.
Not even salt? Not even salt?
Okay, salt and pepper.
Oh, thank God.
Just as a quick aside, you do know why a lot of British food is like considered bland, right?
Because they suck at cooking.
Because of war.
Because
they had rationing going on for up until like the 80s. And so because of this, a lot of cookbooks that were put out in Britain from like the 50s onwards had very little to do with flavoring because it was just like, this is what you cook. This is what you have access to.
I have
you
no
didn't have
sympathy.
access to like turmeric or anything like that. You just had salt and pepper and that's it.
I have no sympathy for the wartime Brits who couldn't get to turmeric, considering how many native people were murdered in the pursuit of turmeric.
Aside from the wartime recipes, prior to that, they also didn't fucking use seasoning. The classic English meal is the roast dinner. That's where you take vegetables and meat and roast it.
Also, a lot of countries have been through war. France is a great example of a country that was ravaged by war, but they're fine. They make a dope baguette, you know? Like, they got it.
I'm going to defend Andrew on this one because you brought up a good point, Tina. France makes solid food. That's why they get invaded. England makes shitty food. That's why they don't get invaded that much. Come on, man. Use some fucking common sense, dude. It's because of those dope-ass baguettes that the fucking Germans keep fucking walking down the Champs-Elysees.
Well, also the English. The English knew their food sucked and tried to take over France on multiple occasions.
Also, because of the baguettes, which is French for magic wands.
Baguette.
Something about wizards protecting France from war.
With bread.
Y'all, I told you, soup salad sandwich starts fights, okay? We're not going to be friends on the other end of this.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to the next one. The little aside for the fried green nope, just a regular fried tomato. I'm from Dante? I'm from Virginia, so I just throw the word green in there. But the aside is about how, for those who don't know, for a long time, the British people thought tomatoes were poisonous because they're in the same family as nightshade, which is for sure poisonous. Dante, I'm going to eat cat for dinner.
Soup. That would be soup.
Okay, Harry's first birthday cake, chocolate layer cake. It's hard to imagine a woman so heartless that she wouldn't ever bake a birthday cake for her motherless nephew. But such is indeed the case for Harry Potter, who meets his first birthday cake when he turns 11, courtesy of Hagrid. Chocolate birthday cake, soup salad sandwich.
Sandwich.
Clearly a sandwich.
Oh no,
It's
dude!
clearly a sandwich.
It's soup. It's Hagrid making it. He doesn't bake it all the way. It's basically just like lava. It's chocolate soup, man.
That's technically a bean soup right there.
Yeah.
I would say for the most part, chocolate layer cake is going to be a sandwich. The term layer to me automatically indicates sandwich.
Yeah, because you're providing that there's a base of some sort that is then having additional things put on top of it to increase its tastiness and also density.
You
that
guys are
is
talking,
a sandwich.
You guys are talking about the final outcome, but it's Hagrid. You never get to the final outcome. It is literally just a bowl of like mixing ingredients. It's a giant soup bowl, man.
So what you just said is that layers equal sandwich. Okay.
If you have a base followed by a series of identical layers.
Those are okay, so they have to be identical layers.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Okay, you're being very, very pedantic here. But if I'm
you can
going
have
to
an open
summarize
The point of this game is to be pedantic.
then I want to tap out. This sounds like an awful game.
You don't layer soup because that would be functionally impossible.
Okay, here's my question. For every rule you try to make for what makes a soup, a salad, or a sandwich, there's always an exception, and I will raise the exception. Okay. If layers make a sandwich, what is a 7-layer dip? That's a soup. That's a soup right there, my friends.
I would say that is a soup.
I would say that you're missing one of the key elements that I said, though, which is that you have a base.
Base be beans.
No, when I say a base in that, I mean like see, but the beans aren't like you bake the thing. It's a solid thing that you then decorate, even if it's layers. It's multiple.
So like a sandwich has solid elements that cannot be penetrated by chips.
Has layered solid elements with some potential level of integrity greater than viscosity. How about that?
Can we just make a gif of Andrew using his hands trying to like shape out a sandwich, because that's amazing. Like the sandwich with like a dome top and like you smushing it, then that was amazing.
Our next food item is black pudding. Fleur Delacour takes Ron's breath away when she asks for the Bouillabaisse. He tells her it's very good, but has to ask Hermione what that bless you stuff is. Which means I probably pronounced it wrong. I feel like there's a joke in there. No thanks, he'll stick to black pudding. I don't get that joke.
First off, you did actually pronounce Bouillabaisse correctly.
Okay, great. I'm a linguist. I will elaborate. For those who don't know, black pudding or blood pudding is made of blood mixed with animal fat, as well as oats, onions, salt, and seasonings. It is stuffed into casings and boiled in water. I should put a vegan trigger warning at the beginning of this, perhaps.
It's, black pudding is disgusting. I was sleeping with a very attractive man from Sheffield for some time, and for his birthday, the one thing he wanted was black pudding with a corollary that he was like, and you have to try it. And I did, and the texture was odd. I thought the flavor was odd, and I found the experience odd.
It says you can't make your own because you can't legally purchase animal blood in the United States.
Yes, that sounds right.
I support that law.
So what is this? Soup, salad, sandwich?
Oh.
Soup.
Why?
Because everything is soup.
Everything is soup.
I would maybe lean towards salad because there's a mixture of elements, including like some grains, and the blood could be seen as a type of binding dressing.
A dressing? A blood dressing on my salad?
Okay, Hannibal Lecter. Like, we don't just drizzle blood on top of a salad. Like,
well, that's where you're wrong.
Oof, wow. Okay.
I think I've got a hot take here, but I'm going to go salad.
Okay.
And the reason is that, in my mind, when you're talking, once again, I'm sure you're going to love to find something about this, but in general, salads are going to be things that are conglomerations of a bunch of ingredients that together add up to the whole that are individual ingredients on their own. I don't know. It gives me a feeling of an encased salad. I'm going to go with salad. Salad.
Okay. I'll allow it. I mean, there's definitely vegetables there.
Well, I don't think a salad necessarily needs vegetables.
Yeah, I guess chicken salad.
Fruit salad.
Oh,
pasta
fruit
salad.
salad by definition is a non-vegetable situation.
Soup.
Fruit salad becomes soup if you leave it in the refrigerator too long.
There you go. Soup. Everything
Soup.
Eventually, everything becomes soup.
Eventually, you become soup.
Yes.
When you think about it, we're all soup in the end.
We're all soup in the end, buddy.
Just packed into, what was it? Casings. We're all just soup in casings.
Yeah. We're Tide Pods.
We're Tide Pods. Tide Pods, soup salad sandwich. Okay, our next food item is jam donuts. The whole ordeal is over. The monster behind the mysterious attacks has been destroyed. By Harry Potter, of course, and Harry's good name, as well as Hagrid's, is restored. The feast following Harry's recuperation is one of the best he's ever seen, and life just gets better when Professor Dumbledore announces, while Ron eats a jam donut, that Lockhart is leaving for good. R.I.P. Lockhart, I'm so sorry that your life ended up like this. Jam donut.
Sandwich?
I'm going to say sandwich, because I would say a jelly sandwich is a thing that exists.
Yeah.
And a jam donut is simply a jelly sandwich with enclosed sides.
Yes.
I think I'm going to say something controversial here. I'm going to say soup. And here's why. Here's
on.
Why. Trauma. You just killed a giant, man-eating snake. You're not really you know what I feel like? A hearty sandwich. You're like, man, a warm, soup would really fill this. So a jelly soup, a jelly donut soup would be probably very rewarding after such a horrific and traumatizing event.
So imagining a dumpling soup, but with
donuts
floating
it's like a sweet dumpling soup. And the best part is because it's magic, the donut doesn't form until it's in your stomach.
Okay, so here's my actual argument for a jelly donut potentially being a soup. And that is that it could be seen to be a berry soup in a bread bowl.
Okay.
That is true.
Berry soup bread bowl. I gotcha.
Also, this is the 90s. Remember this, people. This is the 90s.
This is before bread bowls were invented.
It was a very weird time for, culinary, all right? A lot of weird things were going on.
We think donuts were invented.
People ate Red Lobster back then.
Donuts were actually
shit.
mostly invented and popularized during World War II.
World War I.
Interesting.
World War I is because dough was cheap. You could quickly fry it up with little to no accessories.
I recently was watching the Great British Bake Off and they were doing 80s week and they did donuts. So I was like, I guess donuts were invented in the 80s. I'm not going to do any research.
No, thank a mass world war that killed millions of people for delightful donuts and wristwatches.
I just heard a noise outside and I thought it was a cat and I looked and Sean's just standing here in his boxers trying to be really sneaky about putting his PJs on. Okay. Our next food item is Creature's French onion soup. There's not a good description. I guess he just makes them French onion soup.
I'm going to go soup.
I'm going
French onion soup.
I'm going salad on this one.
Elaborate.
I can see it being a salad, but it is a soup.
Oh, you're right. It is
by definition.
By definition, that's all. It's only in the name.
I love French onion soup.
Oh, God, I love it.
Good.
I've been wanting to make it recently because it's one of my favorite foods, and I can't buy it anywhere because I have hypertension, and in any given restaurant, it has approximately 5,000 grams of sodium in it. Whoa, milligrams. Or grams. So I will make it
5,000 grams.
Yeah, I'll make it one time and we can make Creature's French onion soups or maybe Sean's because he makes some pretty good French onion soup.
So I'll tell you right now, and I think you all know what I'm going to say. It's a sandwich. It's a sandwich because a really good French onion soup is usually served in a bread bowl.
No, it's not. It's served in a ramekin with toasted cheese on
Okay, well...
She's right, but I would accept it in a bread bowl.
In my imaginary Harry Potter culinary universe, it's a motherfucking bread bowl.
Let's be honest, y'all. We would accept a salad in a bread bowl if it meant we got a bread bowl.
Wait, that's
bread
a
bowls
good
are just lovely
idea.
things.
A bread bowl salad?
No, the bread bowl ruins the health benefits of anything you put in it.
Why don't people do bread bowl salads?
Do you want to
The
advertise on your
salad
menu an
for-
extra 1,800 calories for the bread bowl?
Salad for healthy, bread bowl for bread.
I guess you would just do like a baguette crunchy if you really wanted bread with your salad situation. I just can't get my brain off Panera for the soup salad sandwich conversation.
Bro, yeah, bro. No, you're not wrong. Same here. I keep just going back to Panera. I'm like, why did we not like ask like the general manager for local Panera to be on this?
You're a professional, ma'am. Can you please explain to us?
Amanda, what are your thoughts? She's like, I don't know who any of you are.
I'm honored to be on this podcast.
We could call the every year Butterball does a turkey hotline where you can call them and they will help you out with any like issues you have with cooking your turkey.
Oh my God! Wait, is that my dream job?
So
A cooking hotline?
yeah, so it's just with the turkey, but I would love to call them and be like, excuse me, I need a little bit of help here. I'm on this show called Soup Salad Sandwich, and I need to know, is a turkey, a whole turkey, a soup, a salad, or a sandwich? And I would love it if that representative was like, well, how are you cooking it?
yeah,
I'm going to need more information.
Yeah, for sure.
They're like, can you break it down? Because there's some differences here.
I've got 6 hours to go on this shift and a list of recipes that include 50 different ways to make a turkey.
They just
we
go
have
on
options.
they just go on a huge rant of different things you go with turkey. They're like, you can even use it to clean your car.
Okay, if you cook it with no vegetables and just a shit ton of gravy, that's a soup. If you put a bunch of roasted vegetables along with it, that's a salad. And if you stuff it with stuffing, that's a sandwich. Turkey is divergent. It can be soup, salad, and sandwich.
No, it cannot.
This is going to come out 1 week before Thanksgiving, so happy pre-Thanksgiving, everybody. If you live in the United States, British people hate Thanksgiving. That's not a British holiday. Moving on, our next food item is Triple Power Icy Lemon Pops. The Dursleys don't want to buy Harry chocolate ice cream when they take him to the zoo on Dudley's birthday. But when the lady asks him what he'll have, they at least have the decency to be embarrassed to not buy him anything. These people hate the Dursleys. They compromise by buying him a lemon pop, which Harry enjoys anyway.
This frozen soup.
What, you can't say frozen. It's just soup, salad sandwich. Those are your options.
I'm serving my soup in a bold and innovative new way.
Yeah, that's
It's
fine.
frozen.
That's your prerogative, but you don't. It's just soup. This is a soup, is what you're
Yes.
saying.
Yes, it is a soup.
Brooke, Mike?
I lean towards soup because
It has zest in it, but it doesn't have any lemon chunks in it, which I think would be the salad argument.
yeah, and sandwich. It's just is. So it's not exactly like a lemon sandwich in a lemon casing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lemon sandwich.
So, follow me on this one. Dust to dust, ashes to ashes. I think we all know that this is definitely a salad because you see the lemons were grown in Florida and there was a cold snap and they froze. And so you're just chunking them onto a salad. So this would definitely be a salad.
Are you dying?
Gryffindor confidence.
No, this is definitely a salad. They grow on trees. I think the key factor to what makes the salad a salad, like French onion doesn't grow on a fucking tree.
Okay, but cashews grow on trees.
Okay, but I'm just saying lemons grow on fucking trees, therefore it's a salad.
Sean and I have this new, we like do one of those, what's it called? Universal Yums? Wait, Universal Eats? Wait.
Yum.
Well, this isn't my plug, but it's one of those like treats from around the world boxes. And today we were eating from our Italy box and they had this, it was like the weirdest food I've ever eaten in my fucking life. It was like a cracker cookie and it was lemon pepper flavored and it looked like an Applejack, but it was kind of hard on the outside like a bagel. And it was lemon. It was almost like lemon poppy seed, but instead of poppy seed, it was pepper. It was just like the most confusing thing I've ever put in my mouth.
So it was a salad. It was a salad.
That one was a salad.
And they grow on fucking trees. Therefore, it's a fucking salad.
So you remind me, Christina, this is a little bit of an aside, but I think y'all will enjoy it. I backed in accidentally into being like an amazingly thoughtful son one time because I was trying to think of something early in the pandemic that I could get my dad for Father's Day. And it was literally like 2 days before it. I hadn't thought of anything. And at this point I was like resigned that it had to be Amazon. And so he's gotten into K-pop recently and like all that that entails. And so I got one of those boxes from South Korea for him, right? And he calls me up when he gets it and he is ecstatic. He's like, this is amazing. This is so thoughtful. And I'm like, I mean, is it though? Like in my head, he goes, I can't believe you realize that so many of these were the same stuff that I used to get when I lived here in the Army. Like these are the same treats that I used to get, the same like little like snack cakes and everything. This is amazing. And
You're like, I did that on purpose.
Yes. Yes, this was pre-planned.
That's awesome. Hell yeah. Okay, our next food item is Treckle Fudge. Hagrid's glue-your-teeth-together fudge turns out to be quite useful. After Hagrid's been taken to Azkaban, Harry feeds some to Fang to keep him quiet. Fang can't bark because his fangs are stuck together. Fudge is not foolproof, so it's no surprise that Hagrid's didn't come out quite right. I can list the ingredients upon request if that's helpful to anyone.
Okay. So treacle is made with golden syrup, right?
It says 2 tablespoons black treacle.
Yeah.
Or dark molasses or blackstrap molasses.
Okay. So
whatever all of those things are.
Okay. So it's slightly different than I thought.
It's mostly just sugar, like 3 different kinds of sugar.
We're basically looking at a molasses fudge. I am going to say soup. Because it is mostly, especially if it's like that gooey, I'm going to imagine the liquidity content of it is quite high.
Yeah, I think you're right. That it's a very oddly thick, gelatin-esque soup.
I don't like it.
I'm sorry to ruin it for you with words, Christina. It's what I do.
Yeah, I too am going to have to vote with the rest of the group. It's definitely a soup. Because it was made by a car. It was made by the Ford Anglia and their side quest adventure of Fang and Ford. New favorite fan fiction.
You gonna write that for us?
No, someone else will, but if you're listening, this is one of the episodes I want in the manga series.
If you're listening, please write this and we refuse to pay commission.
Yeah. We'll recognize it.
No, we'll read it.
Oh, we'll read it. We won't recognize it.
Also, can I just bring up the fact that this cookbook, if you like gave this to your kid and the kid hadn't read like all the Harry Potter books, it's full of like a lot of spoilers.
A lot of spoilers.
Like you're a kid reading it, and you're like cooking it, and she's like, "Sweetheart, look, this is the thing that Harry ate after like
he died."
And the kid's just like, "Wait, what?" Yeah, so just saying.
Our next food item is shepherd's pie. The day Harry is to spend time in detention with Professor Lockhart, helping him to answer his fan mail, Harry eats his shepherd's pie without much appetite, dreading his upcoming detention. If he could foretell the future, he'd have a lot more on his mind, because during his detention, he will hear a terrifying, murderous voice in the walls that no one else can hear. I want to know who wrote these. Really, like, what's like kind of like extrapolating meaning onto these food items.
Wait, what? Hold on. What was the food again? what was
shepherd's pie?
Shepherd's pie. There's nothing like a mincing machine to grind up meat for you. Victorian housewives were delighted with the invention of the mincing machine because it helped them mince leftover roast lamb from Sunday to be used during the week in dishes such as shepherd's pie, if that's helpful to you.
Wait.
Okay.
So you're telling me
shepherd's pie is a salad?
I think so. I agree with you.
Hold on. Let's backtrack here. You're telling me Harry, 1, is in detention. 2, he hears murderous voices, and we know what that motherfucker thinks? Mince pie, baby. Gotta get some.
No, it's the opposite order. He eats mince pie and then goes to detention.
And hears murderous voices.
Yeah. That's where he hears the murderous voices.
Okay, so that explains a lot. You would only hear murderous voices as if it was a soup. Yeah, that's a key ingredient to soup, or key after effect. Gives murderous you a lot rage. Of gas and murderous rage.
So here's my thing with shepherd's pie is I have like this brain fart where I get like pot pie and shepherd's pie confused. And I would argue that a pot pie is a sandwich, but a shepherd's pie is a salad. Soup. A shepherd's pie, I think, is a soup, actually. I think if you went inside, it would be soupy.
It typically is soupy, but I find it to be a warm salad because it's mostly vegetables and it's It's
just the fact that you were saying vegetables at that time.
Vegetables! That's what I call them at home to make it fun for my child.
Do you know that there's an anime character named Vegeta?
I don't.
There's like a joke in here about like things that Vegeta eats are like vegetables.
Mike, you know Dragon Ball Z, right?
Of course I do,
okay,
and I'm debating.
You did not know about before?
No, yeah,
divorce.
Yeah, this is something I wish they would have brought up in the premarital counseling. They're like, does your significant other watch Dragon Ball Z? Like, that's
you get to just. Oh my god! Please start a podcast where you all watch Dragon Ball Z together.
Oh my god! Yes.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Oh my
Brooke,
god!
I would want to hear. I just want to hear you watch Dragon Ball Z. I want to hear your reaction.
Brooke's face. Brooke is done
disgusted.
With that.
Yeah,
and the opening of the episode would just be us screaming as we power up for like 20 minutes. So the whole podcast would be us just screaming for 20 minutes and then 5 minutes of dialogue talking about the episode. Because that's how Dragon Ball Z works.
Yep.
Listeners, you can't see this, but when I get concerned and disapproving, I get a really severe wrinkle in between my eyebrows. And one day, Michael will be the reason I get Botox.
We call it her resting McGonagall face.
It's the nice way of putting it.
It's how I know when I fucked up. I'll like lean in to kiss her on the forehead and I'll be like, oh no, forehead wrinkles. You did it fucked up, dude.
This landing strip is occupied. What's going on?
Wait, I want to defend my answer, okay? I think
your warm salad answer.
A warm salad because it's vegetables and meat, and then it's in a kind of gravy, but it's usually a like pretty firm gravy, which I think leans it more towards a dressing than a soup base for me. And then you've got the topping of usually potato for potato top pies. Shepherd's pie usually has a potato topping. Doesn't have to, but usually does. And I think that type of carbohydrate topping is analogous to croutons, therefore making it a salad.
But it's,
my thoughts exactly.
It's a layer.
It's a layer, but the bottom, it's really only 2 layers, and the bottom is like a melange of too many ingredients for it to be a unified layer.
Wow. The word melange is so good. It takes me right back to Dune. I need to reread that.
The spice melange.
Our next food item is sweet orange marmalade. Marmalade shows up often in the Harry Potter books. It's just that British. In one breakfast scene, Hermione determinedly avoids discussing her busy schedule and asks for the marmalade in response to Ron's questions.
It's kind of a deep pull, cookbook writer.
Yep. And guess what the ingredients are? There's 3 ingredients. What are they?
Sugar, orange, and like a gelatin base.
No.
It's not pectin?
No, it's just water.
It's just sugar, water, and orange peel?
Yeah, it's just water. 3 oranges. How's this for a sweet little story? A Scottish merchant brought his wife a load of bitter Seville oranges. Not very edible. Instead of saying, "What do you expect me to do with these?" as an ordinary housewife might have done, she marched into the kitchen to experiment, and thus orange marmalade was born.
Wow, what a story of female perseverance and the...
You said preservation!
Both work.
Both do work. I'm just more concerned because I doubt this story, judging by how long marmalade's been around. the cost of sugar would have been so much that if she had just dumped a ton of sugar with these inedible oranges and water, I don't know. I just don't think I would have risked using that much sugar on something I wouldn't expect to work when sugar was expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, also though, when sugar was expensive, it might have been a scenario where you could use less sugar because people had less of a sweet tooth. In general, people find American foods to be like cloyingly sweet.
Yeah, same.
Because they're gross.
Yes.
But delicious.
I would beg to differ. Sugar's never that expensive. When I live with you.
He's
all right.
looking at me, his wife. It's not a good one.
Actually, he's looking at me.
Soup, salad, sandwich.
Soup. Orange peel soup.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it, like, glomps. It, like, drips.
It's a soup.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's
soup
what
right
it
there.
pours. It's
Yeah.
horrible.
It's like a tomato bisque, but different.
Like a tomato bisque, but with none of the ingredients of a
With
tomato
none of
bisque,
the
nor the
qualities
texture.
or ingredients of a tomato bisque.
Okay. Our next food item is Bouillabaisse. To make the foreign students feel at home, the dishes of their native cuisines appear along with the usual Hogwarts fare on the great hall tables at the feast welcoming Durmstrang and Beauxbatons. And for those who don't know, like me, it's kind of like okay, I'm just going to list some ingredients. It's got like onion, celery, garlic, clam juice, tomatoes, white wine, saffron, 3 pounds firm white fish, 1 pound lobster meat, crab meat, shrimp, clams. What is this? What is this?
Bouillabaisse is traditionally defined as a like coastal French seafood soup.
Yeah.
So that's a soup right there.
That's
Yeah,
a soup.
it's a soup.
That's definitely a sandwich. You guys are right.
It also
Definitely a
calls
sandwich.
for a soup pot.
Yeah.
So that's helpful.
It's
context.
considered like a coastal French soup.
Yeah, so that's actually a mistranslation. That's actually a sandwich pot. The word for soup and sandwich are very similar in French.
Un sandwich et un soup.
Yeah, exactly. Identical. I think everybody could hear that. It's impossible to tell the difference. Thank you, Brooke. Thank you for highlighting that.
Our next food item is Petunia's pudding, which is an English strawberry trifle, according to this. It is like I think we would call it a trifle, but that's not, what is, it's almost like a parfait, but like a dessert parfait, not a breakfast parfait. It's got layers of cake and custard, basically.
I know we have debates about layering, but I feel like because of Andrew's prior definition of one solid baked element, this falls into the sandwich category for me.
Oh,
I think it does. Honestly.
well, okay, wait, hold on. Let me read to you these ingredients. Let me read to you the instructions. Okay, place the cake slices on a cutting board and trim off the crusts. Spread half of the slices with jam and top with the remaining slices. Cut these sandwiches into squares and put them into the dish. So there's sandwiches inside the soup?
It's like a club sandwich where there's kind of a sandwich inside your sandwich.
Yeah. Like an open-faced club sandwich.
You said it was a sandwich, and there's sandwich in the sandwich.
Yeah.
I think it's a sandwich. It's a sandwich of sandwiches.
Definitely a soup.
Okay, wait, I forgot to read the description. When Harry comes inside after completing his chores, he notices that the dessert Aunt Petunia prepared for the dinner party with the Masons is sitting on top of the refrigerator. I think a lot of us have trauma from watching this scene. The British call any dessert pudding, as in what's for pudding. Since the classic trifle is covered in dollops of whipped cream and often decorated with sugared violets, this is probably what Petunia intended to serve to the Masons before Dobby destroyed it.
That is like for sure not what's shown in the film though. Because the film is more of like a pavlova almost. It's like meringue layers with cream and berries.
Yeah. And I like how the author chose to say, as in the expression, what's for pudding?
No, that's a real thing.
That's a real expression?
Yeah, Brits will be like, what do we have in for pudding? Like, are we gonna have pudding with this? Like, it's pudding is a word. It's dessert. They don't say dessert. They say pudding.
They're very backwards people.
But also, A pudding is a course, and it is also a consumable. Like, they will call anything pudding, but there are certain puddings that are particular. Like a sticky toffee pudding is a dish.
I just want to point out that this page makes special note that American-style trifle bowls are too deep for English trifle. It also notes that trifle originally was mostly just custard, but then it developed into its more contemporary, elegant form that includes cake and whipped cream.
It is worth noting, I learned from mostly Great British Bake Off, but also British people occasionally will shorten it to just hoods.
No.
Oh, God.
So if there's one thing Dragon Ball Z taught me, the real fight doesn't even begin until something's in its final form. And
nice callback, babe.
I think this is definitely its final form is soup.
I think we have
sandwich soup.
Okay, wait. So Brooke, you said sandwich. Andrew, what's your vote?
I'm going sandwich as well.
Mike, you say soup.
Yeah.
Always. I also say soup. So that's split. It's just we could call it a soup sandwich or maybe a sandwichy soup. Soup sandwich sounds better.
Sandwich combo. It's like have a sandwich and a soup.
It's like a French dip.
But it's all pudding.
All put.
All French dips are delicious.
French dips are delicious.
Just a little too much coordination for me, though. I'm very messy.
What's the fancy name for a French dip?
French dip, yeah.
Something au jus. Sandwich au jus, maybe?
No, au jus is like
just
sauce.
Au jus, yeah.
So au jus is the like pan dripping sauce that you make from roasting the beef.
Delicious. Okay, our next food item is the Knickerbocker Glory, which is I probably should. There's a lot of desserts in this fucking cookbook. Dudley pretends to cry when he discovers that Harry will have to come along with him on his birthday trip. Petunia, fooled by his antics, assures Dudley that she won't let Harry spoil his special day. Little does she know. But before the day ends in disaster, Harry enjoys the Knickerbocker Glory he has been allowed to finish when Dudley complains his doesn't have enough ice cream. So it's basically just like an ice cream sundae. Oh, Jell-O. There's Jell-O in it. It's like a parfait.
I'd say a salad. There's a lot of like disparate elements that are coming together to make a single dish. And they're all like separate elements. So I don't know. I would say overall a Knickerbocker Glory as an ice cream sundae falls into a salad category for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you there.
So wait, it's definitely described as a Jell-O?
It's got ice cream.
It involves Jell-O. This sounds actually disgusting.
So shout out to any of my physics friends out there. Anybody who knows anything about Jell-O knows that Jell-O is just in a highly evolved form of soup that is broken through the fourth dimension. And you can't see it, but in that fourth dimension, it is quite liquidy. So yeah, I would say it's soup.
Is there any way you could find the X-Files theme song and the moment that Michael says, for all of my physics fans out there, do the and like as he does that explanation, just play the X-Files theme song.
I'm going to have it playing this whole time as you're asking me to do this as well. I'm going to have it carry through the whole time.
Let's stop it right here.
Okay, great. So you guys say salad. I probably would say soup.
Okay.
Based on what?
Based on the fact that I like to take my spoon and mash up my ice cream until it's a soup.
But at that point, you've made ice cream soup.
Yeah, and also at that point, you've broken the fourth dimension. So
it's got custard and Jell-O. Yeah, I guess like the solid nature of the Jell-O is kind of fucking me up right now because that is salad-y.
I mean, Jell-O salads were a whole thing we like to forget happened to humanity.
Oh my god.
A decade.
I have a beloved bunch of recipes from my Nana who passed away over 15 years ago, and most of them are insanely delicious. She's got this banana bread. She's got kugel, because she was a Jewish grandma. We got some, like, tomato sauce in there, and then there's just this one pretzel Jell-O salad. And I'm like, I love you. I'll carry this with me wherever I move. I'm never, ever going to make this.
People made like broccoli jello salad.
Shut up. There's a word for it, and we talked about it at work before. What's the word for terrible jello? Oh my god, there's a word for it. Hold
Gelatin?
on. I need to Google it.
Soup jello.
No.
I've heard them referred to as jello salads before.
No, hold on.
Primordial soup.
Wait, hold on. I think I remember. I'm like thinking of something really specific. Okay. Aspic.
A what?
Yeah.
A savory jelly made with meat stock and set in a mold, and I will show you an image and you will die.
So wait, say that word again. What is it?
It's a savory jello.
It sounds like a snake.
Yeah.
Like
Aspic does sound like that's parcel mouth for disgusting and I want to die.
In the mid-90s, I still had relatives that were making those for family reunions.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. We would have like 200 to 300 person reunions. That were crazy. And there would inevitably be someone who like shouldn't have been cooking for the last 2 decades that would show up with one of those. And as a child, every year my dad would convince me to try a piece. And I'd be like, but I didn't like it last year. He's like, no, this is a different one. It's totally different.
Oh, sure.
Up until I was about 10, that shit worked too.
The 90s were a dark time for cooking.
Yeah, that's for damn sure. That's when baby bottle pop was invented.
Oh, that shit's all from the 70s, though. That's like holdover, horrible 70s inventions.
Yeah, that's a 70s vibe. The 70s are when people were like, we're in the future now, but they weren't in the future now.
So everything's going to come in pill and powdered form. Yay! Powdered meat!
Hey,
yum!
That's part of the way we got macaroni and cheese, so I can't not.
Oh, gosh, macaroni and cheese.
You're right.
My kryptonite.
And I'm like the 1 in 500 person who loves powdered potatoes. They're so good.
Yeah, they're good.
So good.
They're pretty good. I don't prefer them to a regular potato, but they're just so easy and they're freaking delicious.
Yeah.
I largely will select like Idahoan mashed potato packet over any actual mashed potatoes I have ever made or been served.
Aw. You can make potatoes better.
I like the non-existent texture of Idahoan powdered potato.
It's kind of like oatmeal, but like better.
Yeah.
Yeah, our house is littered with them.
We have a lot of them.
That's such a college vibe for me. My ex-boyfriend Joey ate a shit ton of fake taters. That's a fake tater right there.
Taters?
Taters! Boil them, mash them, make them from a packet.
When I go camping, I love making the instant potatoes, and then I toss half can of green beans on top, and then
yum.
Put a packet of buffalo tuna on top, and so it's like potatoey, and you get some vitamins, and you get your protein, and it tastes kind of spicy.
Yeah, that sounds
Hold
good.
on, quick question. Is that a salad, a soup, or a sandwich?
Salad.
Mm-hmm. That's a salad right there.
We got it from the creator's mouth, so.
That's definitely a soup.
I'm going to make Mike a shirt that just says everything is soup.
Everything is soup.
Look, man, somewhere in a parallel universe, that's a soup. I'm just telling you right now.
Okay, our next food item, we kind of talked about the turkey because it's Thanksgiving season, but this one's a classic roast chicken. At the Dursleys, Harry has never been allowed to eat as much as he wanted, so at his first ever Hogwarts feast, his eyes must have been popping out of his head with amazement at the huge variety of dishes that suddenly appeared on the table in front of him, including roast chicken. So it's such a lame description.
They're like,
you're telling me
all
you
these
don't
amazing things, and like, what's the most amazing of them all? A roast fucking chicken.
And just for the record, this includes onion, celery, and carrots, and no stuffing. So that's to me that sounds like an American invention that you need to put bread in your birds.
Listen, if England had as many wheat fields as we do, they'd want bread in their birds too.
Okay. 2 things. 1, it's probably Chick-fil-A chicken, so
probably
there's a reason why he's like, holy shit, this is amazing.
Chick-fil-A chicken isn't roasted.
This is a magical world, Brooke.
It is certainly house elf chicken and not Chick-fil-A chicken.
It's house elf Chick-fil-A, man. I'm just telling you right now. They franchised.
Elf filet.
Okay, is a roast chicken soup, salad, or sandwich?
salad.
So unconfident.
A meat salad. I would say it is a salad in the way that larb is salad.
What is a larb?
It is a Vietnamese meat salad, usually served in a lettuce wrap. It's delicious. It is actually
what kind
delicious.
of meat? You can't just say meat. I hate that.
It's
meat
ground.
salad is fun.
It's ground. Here, I have to look up a picture. This is doing
Will a
nothing.
picture help?
She's about to show you my dick.
No, thank you.
It's not worth it.
That's a meat salad right there.
This is larb. Ugh, God, is it even?
No, it's not, Brooke. It is literally, you're just white screening.
Oh, wait, I can see it. Yeah, there.
Kind of, yeah.
It just looks like ground beef.
It's like ground chicken with red onions and cilantro.
Yeah.
And seasonings. But it's literally just like ground meat. I wish there was a better way to show you. I don't know if that helped. That's larb.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
It reminds me, frankly, of when I was doing keto and I would eat delicious meats and vegetables inside lettuce because sometimes you just literally need a vessel.
Yeah.
I would say that larb is a good keto meal in general, probably.
It looks like it.
Roast chicken. I'm going to go... I gotta go sandwich. I don't know why. And it doesn't... Because I'm thinking, especially if the stuff is stuffed inside of it, it's almost like a Hot Pocket, a meat Hot Pocket. It's like a KFC Double Down.
Well, let's see. Is stuff inside of it? Give me a second. No, the stuff isn't inside of it according to this recipe. It's just in the roasting pan.
Fucking salad, man.
I'm going to say something kind of from out of left field and just say it's Chick-fil-A.
I'm still going to go with sandwich. I can't even necessarily express the reasoning why. But, I mean, you're taking the chicken out of that stuff that you're roasting it in after it's done. Like, I don't know. I'm feeling sandwich. My heart says sandwich.
That's okay. Dante, I need that book. You just knock it down.
Is Dante a soup, salad, or a sandwich?
When I'm done with him, that's a soup. That's a cat soap.
It's a coat.
That's a manwich.
That's a manwich. Oh. Okay. Pumpkin pasties. To Harry's surprise, the snacks which damn wish you a snack on the Hogwarts Express isn't selling Heath bars or Doritos. For the first time in his life, Harry pulls out some money and buys as many treats as he wants, which include pumpkin pasties. Sean and I recently learned on the Great British Bake Off, the new season, that pasties are a kind of pastry, which was very confusing to us. It's always like, is it slang or are we dumb?
No, a pasty, I would say a pasty. In general, all pasties are a sandwich in the same way that a, like, mince pie is a sandwich, and that it is pastry on top and bottom with a filling.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Although, once again, you could use a jelly donut defense to say that it is a pumpkin soup inside of a bread bowl.
Oh no, she used the jelly donut defense. We don't have anything to counter with yet.
Wait, this little blurb is kind of disturbing. Imagine biting into a pasty only to discover you've just chomped down on a whole bird, skin and bones and all. Yuck. But in the Middle Ages, huge, too tough to eat pasties enclosed whole birds or whole beef roasts.
Is this where the blackbird pie thing comes from?
Are you talking about like that weird thing they did in Game of Thrones?
No, there's a classic
like the children's rhyme.
Yeah.
Blackbird singing in the dead.
No.
No, it's
peas, porridge, hot. No,
I do not remember
thumb
it.
in the pie. What's the one?
Pfeiffer? Tom Fife.
Tom Pfeiffer, Michelle Pfeiffer's younger brother.
He put in his thumb and pulled out a plum.
Uh-huh.
No,
and all the king's horses and all the king's men.
Roll it and
mash it, stick it in a stew.
It's called Sing a Song of Sixpence.
Yes.
Sing a song of sixpence, a pocket full of rye, 4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie.
Oh.
When the pie was open, the birds began to sing. Wasn't that a dainty dish to sit before the king? The king was in the counting house counting out his money. The queen was in the parlor eating bread and honey. The maid was in the garden hanging out the clothes. Along came a blackbird and sniffed off her nose. Sing a song of sixpence, a pocket full of rye, 4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie. When the pie was open, the birds began to sing. Wasn't that a dainty dish to set before the king?
I think there's like a modern, like, more palatable for children version of that song.
Well, and indeed, a more palatable for children version of what the fuck is a pasty?
Yeah. It's something a stripper puts on her. Oh, pasty.
That's a pasty.
My bad.
Yeah, Patsy spelled backwards is soup.
Patsy Cline is a soup.
Patsy Cline is a soup. So there you go. It's a soup.
Okay, we're almost done. You guys are doing great. I'm really impressed with your knowledge of food items. Okay, our next food item is beef casserole. Here's a nice cozy scene. Sitting around the table in Hagrid's hut, rain tapping against the windows, a fire crackling merrily in the hearth, while Harry, Ron, and Hermione rehash everything they know about the Triwizard Tournament. We have the ambiance. We have the sparkling conversation. The only thing missing is the good food. Our heroes and heroine have declined the beef casserole after finding a talon in one of their portions. I forgot about that. Oh my god. Beef, and so they're like, you must want to cook this. Here's the recipe.
It's literally setting you up for this amazing, beautiful scene of friendship and warmth. And then it's like, but LOL, this dish that you're making was disgusting.
Who saw that coming?
Is this basically what are the ingredients? I need an ingredient call on this.
Vegetable oil, chuck steak, onion, celery rib, which I've never heard it said like that. All-purpose flour, only 3 tablespoons all-purpose flour, chicken broth, tomato paste, mushrooms.
Okay, so you're making a roux.
Yeah, a roux.
And then you're adding beef and vegetables. At that point, I would say it is a hot salad.
Yeah, because it recommends you spoon the casserole over potatoes, rice, or pasta. Why do egg noodles look the most elegant?
Okay, so it's in a casserole dish.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just geeking at the notion that egg noodles are elegant.
Elegant egg noodles.
The elegant egg noodles.
So elegant.
Oh, what a great name.
It's like the trashiest beef stroganoff. I'm so sorry, Mike. What did you say?
No. Let's stick to this egg noodles thing.
Just the most British housewife thing to be like, if you want a touch of elegance, egg noodles.
Egg noodles from the Orient.
I think that'd be the best punk band in the world, called Elegant Egg Noodles. Like you just come on stage and you're just like, we're Elegant Egg Noodles and fuck the government.
Fuck regular noodles.
Yeah. Fuck the establishment.
For the purpose of this, we're not going to include the recommended mashed potatoes, rice, or pasta. So it's just straight up beefy boy casserole.
I am going to say it falls more salad to me, because I feel like this is a pretty even split salad to soup.
So wait, I'm still a little confused. Is this like you cook up the meat, right? Are you baking the meat? Or
okay, here. I'll do a brief rundown.
Okay, because I don't think I understand it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Skillet. Put half the meat in a skillet, and then do the other half of the meat. Okay, great. Meat in the skillet. Okay, and then put the onion and celery in the skillet, and then make a broth in the skillet. It's all in a skillet. No. Then you transfer it to the oven for 2 hours. It's like a stir fry. It's like a gross British stir fry.
That's a salad.
In 2 hours, so much of the liquid would be gone that I think it becomes a salad. It re-saladifies itself.
Re-saladifies itself? I love that. Oh, man.
Wordplay!
I have a little heart for you, see? It's the world's littlest heart. Get the angle right here.
It comes in a bowl. It's a soup.
I'm going to give it salad for that pun.
It was definitely a salad pun.
Okay. We have arrived at our very final food item, and there is a reason I have saved it for last. I'm going to ask you to hold your laughter till the end. I wrote OMG on the tab I put on this page because I didn't want to forget it. The name of this dish is Spotted Dick. Hermione refuses to eat after discovering that enslaved house elves cooked her food. Ron has no such qualms and naughtily tries to tempt her with Spotted Dick.
I've had Spotted Dick.
Naughtily.
It's like a classic British food.
It doesn't matter. They put the word naughty in here.
Ron naughtily tempts
It
Hermione.
It wasn't naughty.
Spotted Dick.
It's just...
You should never be tempted by Spotted Dick.
This is one dish that makes a lot of Harry Potter fans wonder, what in the world is that? It's an old-fashioned Victorian-era suet pudding, suet being the hard fat that encases beef kidneys. The story of its name is not very exciting. It's called spotted because it has raisins, and dick because that's a Victorian word. Dick is a Victorian word that means pudding. Don't worry about where to find suet. This recipe uses butter, which is an acceptable substitute.
All we got was kidney fat and raisins. These are the two ingredients I'm working with right now. This sounds like a nightmare.
Okay, but they said you can replace the fat with butter.
And then what? We've got hot buttered raisins?
Okay. I'm gonna read the ingredients. It actually sounds kind of good, if you ask me. It involves flour, breadcrumbs, sugar, baking powder, salt, cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, butter, raisins, currants, cranberries, and milk. So it's like almost has nothing to do with meat products.
It's much more akin to like a sticky toffee pudding.
Yeah, that's the vibe I get.
Okay. I love sticky toffee pudding.
As long as there's no kidney fat in it, right?
You know, I'm generally anti-kidney fat.
Just when there's no need.
So, very important. With, like, most puddings of that variety, you end up in a scenario where there is a caramel sauce on top. Does it call for a sauce?
It recommends serve warm with warm custard.
In that case, I am going to say it is a soup.
Okay.
Because it's
Spotted Dick soup?
It's in a sauce of some sort. I'm gonna side with soup on this one.
I think I agree with that. Very much so.
So follow me. Let's all go on an adventure here.
Mm-hmm.
1, Spotted Dick is what you call a ginger with freckles. Too easy. And because he is trying to tempt Hermione with his freckled dick, just a sexual soup. It's a sexy soup. It's got the meats.
Ron's sexy dick soup.
It's Ron's sexy freckled dick soup.
Mike, I'm sorry. I'm actually disappointed in you because you're wrong. A spotted dick is clearly the name of a private investigator that has acne. So I don't know what you're doing bringing this whole spotted dick as a whatchamacallit. No, it's a private eye with acne.
Next time Michael and I have sex right as he's almost about to finish, I'm going to say, pump me full of your spotted dick soup and just see if he can keep an erection. Oh, please cut that out. That's probably too raunchy.
It's not.
It's a Patreon episode, baby.
It is a Patreon episode. We're fine.
Yeah, I'm strangely turned on right now.
People would have to pay an important.
Wait, is this a Patreon episode or is this a regular one?
Yeah, it's a Patreon episode.
Okay.
If it's a Patreon episode, you can leave it in.
You like my little hot raisins, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Almost all of our bonus episodes are Patreon bonus episodes.
Here's a bonus episode for you. Oh God, that was so.
I want to file a worker sexual harassment claim. I know we aren't formally in a company, and I know that he didn't actually just ejaculate.
We don't have HR.
I'm going to feel inferior to that action for the rest of my life. I will never be able to sexually perform again. So
HR stands for Harry. Okay, great. Well, good work, everyone. That was a lot of fun. Thank you so much to Adams Media for this unofficial Harry Potter cookbook written by Dinah Bushels. And also just a fun note from the copyright page. You know, I work at a small press, so I like to investigate the copyright situation. The following recipes were created for this book by Chef Chris Koch, K-O-C-H. How do you say that? Is it cock?
Probably cock.
Okay, Chef Chris, a classically French-trained chef, is the culinary director of a Philadelphia cooking school, kitchen director for a number of TV shows, and author of Learning the Basics, a home cook's guide to the kitchen. So thank you so much, Chef Chris, for your hard work on that spotted dick situation.
Way to go, Chef Chris. Way to go.
Way to go, big cock.
You spotted dick you.
Well, that's the end of the episode. Y'all did great. I'm super proud of you. Soup salad sandwich is a really tough game, and it does end friendship. So I consider us all to still be friends. So that's a great accomplishment.
Yay!
Because this is a bonus episode, we don't do plugs. So bye. Bon appetit.
Bouillabaisse. 420 Bouillabaisse it.
420 Bouillabaisse it.
Chef cock.
Oh,
nailed
God.
it.
Chef cock out.
The restricted section was created by me, Christina Kahn, based on the book series by J.K. Rowling. Theme music by Ryan Kahn, remixed by Zenit Music Studio. Logo by Michael Hardison. Be sure to like our Facebook page, The Restricted Section Podcast, join our Facebook group, The Restricted Section Detention Crew, follow us on Instagram at Restricted Section Pod, and on Twitter at Restricted Pod. If you want to join our Discord server, shoot a message to one of our socials and I'll get you connected. You can also email us at restrictedsectionpod@gmail.com with thoughts, feelings, complaints, or even lavish praise. Until next time, podheads.
Soup. It's definitely a soup. A soup. Soup. I think this is definitely its final form is soup. Somewhere in a parallel universe, that's a soup. Jello is just in a highly evolved form of soup that is broken through the fourth dimension. Ron, sexy, freckled dick soup. I think I'm going to say something controversial here. I'm going to say soup. It's a sexy soup. Definitely a soup. You would only hear murderous voices as if it was a soup.